Hello my fellow gamers and welcome once again to my SimCity video tutorials. I'll be continuing on with my Gemstone Valley and the city called Sapphire Sky, which is my oil drilling city and is soon going to be an oil refining city. I'm going to build the refineries and produce fuel and plastics. Let me first show you what I've been up to since the last video. I have additionally increased the number of sims in my city. I have upgraded both the trading HQ and the petroleum HQ with the refining division and the trade HQ with the petroleum trading division. So I was able to build the trade port and upgrade it with both fuel, plastic and crude oil storage lots. Now it is exporting by boat. I have sold all the crude oil that was stockpiled on my trade depots and I have bulldozed them, leaving enough room here so that I can build the oil refineries. One will go about here and the other one is going to be about here. I have left this room here so that I can transfer the oil pumping jacks that are finishing up what is left of this oil over here, and I'm going to transfer them over here so I can pump out this oil as well. My oil wells are currently producing 6,000, 10,000 and 9,000 barrels a day, so I will have more than enough for 2 refineries. When I build those refineries, I'll be turning off both of these HQs so that I can free up a lot of workers. And I'm going to need them because I do not even have that many workers in the city, and the refineries ask for a lot of workers. I have had to upgrade the police station with more cells because I have plenty of those regional criminals that are infesting my city. The number seems to have dropped at the moment, but it might go up again. When it comes to education, these two grade schools are doing their best to educate my entire city, and almost all of my kids are educated, and I still have room for a couple of hundred more. In this neighborhood over here, I have zoned on the inside of these streets and I have managed to get some medium density buildings. So now I have a little bit more of high wealth workers. I have changed the entrance from being a runabout to just being a straight avenue, and I have connected some of these streets to allow for easier access for workers when I open up the refineries so that they can go into this part of the city, while the second connection to this avenue comes up over here where the medium wealth workers that are commuting into the city can go up here and work in the commercial. I have been turning on one by one these concentrated solar arrays as my power requirements went up in this city so that I could keep a constant capacity for export of power. I have been turning on more of these now because I'm about to build the 2 refineries. I'm hoping that this one will be able to build right here and be able to upgrade it on either up or the right side, while building the other one over here and upgrade it as well. So the first one will be plopped right here. It already has a plastic production mod, so I will see about just adding some more of those. I can have one more going on this side, and let's see if I can have 2 fuel mods onto this thing. I'm not sure will I be able to go onto the right side when I place this mod with the second fueling mod, but I will give it a shot. Nah, it doesn't work. Well, that's fine. Now let's see about this other refinery, which goes about here. Now it also has this plastic mod right now, and I will just add these fuel mods onto this side. Oh, that looks to be it for now. Now I need to stop exporting the crude oil, use locally, and these refineries should start producing plastic and fuel. Now, in order to have the required workers, as you can see, there's a heck of unfilled jobs now that I have built to refineries. I will need to turn off these two HQs. One off, second off. Now there's a whole lot less of unfilled jobs. And these two refineries should start working. Now I do need a heck of a lot more of high wealth workers, so I could see about getting some of those guys to go to high density. It seems that these guys here could go to high density if I only upgraded the roads. So that's what I'm going to do. High density street. And these guys should go to a high density, high wealth building. I don't like this medium density, low wealth, so I'm bulldozing this. And I'll just make a small home for a low density, medium wealth. There we go. My first high wealth skyscraper. Now, as you can see, there is going to be a lot more workers coming into the oil refineries than there were going into the oil wells. So hopefully all of these streets won't have too much of a traffic jam because I have made 3 bridges to lead the workers into this industrial part. Now I should check about the power. As you can see, now I'm using a heck of a lot more power, and I will finish turning on all these concentrated solar arrays. Because this city not only has to have enough power for itself, but has to have enough power to export to the other cities as well. When it comes to water and sewage, that's fine. I still have plenty of capacity that I can buy. Now it's 4 AM and I'm turning on the schools back on. I now have 1500 students, so since I have turned off one of these upper classrooms in each school, I'll be turning on. I believe that this school up here fills up first, so I will turn on that one. And now I have more than enough capacity for all the kids living in my city. Now, since a lot of workers are gonna be driving to the oil refineries, I could expand my bus system so that more of them will be able to use the bus instead of going with their own cars. So I will add some bus stops into these neighborhoods. There we go. Now this city is far more covered with bus stops. I do have a lot of buses because all of my bus terminals each only has 3 municipal buses, so there aren't that many buses that are coming in from the region and picking up these workers. I could build a shuttle bus depot, and I even have enough space right about here for it, but I will see about building it if it becomes necessary as I move on to high density. For now, I think it is not going to be necessary. When it comes to general happiness in my city, I haven't had much problem with out of money, maybe a few homes here and there, some of these low density medium wealth, but that was about it. When it comes to commuting in, I still have a heck of a lot of medium wealth workers commuting in every day, so I'm hoping that they won't create too much of a traffic jam. Since changing from the roundabouts, which had stop signs on the part of the avenue that was entering the city, and switching to these 2 streets, it is quite a different story, but as you can see, now this street over here seems to have a huge traffic jam. As the same thing is happening over here, but hopefully these are just temporary and are not gonna be there during the entire day. And this is one of those moments where I really get annoyed by SimCity traffic. Why must they change lanes right here at the start of this street and block all the other lanes just because they're trying to switch their lane? but how much space they have to change their lane. But no, they wish to change their lane right here and to block all other traffic. And there's nothing a player can do about this. They just stop here, try to change the lane, block all this traffic, and now only one lane is filled with cars while the other two are just standing here empty. Well, who knows how many of these cars could have just went past on the second and third lane, while they now all have to wait for these guys because they want to go into the first lane. So annoying. This is why I like making a runabout at the entrance, because it stops them from doing exactly this, from piling up in just one lane and forcing them to use the other lanes. But as I said, there's this thing where whenever you are adding a street to the entrance avenue, it creates only stop signs and not traffic lights, so that can slow down the traffic, because as you can see, each car has to stop and only then can it continue on, so that kind of slows down the traffic. I'm thinking of seeing how this is gonna work out. Well, that seemed to have freed up the flow of traffic. So let's do some quick math here. I am using up 2400, 2400, that's 4800. I'm using up here 1200 and 4800, so that's 960. About more than 10,000 barrels a day I am using up to produce plastic and fuel, while I'm creating 22,000 barrels of crude oil every day. So that means that I can either lower the amount of crude oil that I'm extracting, or just switch to exporting the crude oil as well. But I feel that that would be a waste, and I would be selling crude oil when I could be making plastic. I'm going to try something else. There we go, I should be using up more crude oil. But when it comes to the oil deposits, I can always work around this. Now I could go through these oil wells and see which one of these pump jacks are extracting very low amounts, and then turn them off because they are no longer being profitable. Now these two are just extracting around 400, so I'll be turning off this one. Just 500, I'll be turning that one off. And all the rest are extracting enough. So this will hopefully stop me from having to export just crude oil. Once I have extracted most of oil that can be extracted from this oil well, I can then bulldoze it and make another refinery here, which will then increase my profits exponentially. And as I keep using up all of this oil that is being pumped out with these pump jacks, I can just keep destroying the oil wells, changing them for refineries, and at one point the city would be importing crude oil and turning it into plastic and fuel. When it comes to the current pricing, crude oil is at 10,000, fuel at 21, and plastic at 25. Well guys, at this point there's really nothing else that I have to do in this city. It's profitable, it's successful, it's nice to live in, there aren't any major problems, and as I said always, the cities at medium density are the ones that are most stable. Once you go up to high density, that is when all hell breaks loose. So I don't know about you, but I'm quite happy how this city has turned out. In order to go up to high density, I would probably have to spend quite a lot more time in this city, which I will do, and I will come back in another video and show you how this city is progressing while being at high density. But for now, I think this is pretty much it. There's nothing else I need to be doing in this city at the moment. I would just like to use this opportunity to tell you that I'm going to be doing some videos about possible improvements to SimCity, improvements that I see feasible and being done. Some of them I'm going to do a video just about improvements that can be done to this game by elements already that are in this game. I will do another video about improvements that can be done to this game, but with just changing some of the elements in the game. And then I will do a third video about improvements that can be done to this game, but with some new additions and changes to this game which aren't in it at the moment. So thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for more.